California Proposition 63, background checks for ammunition purchases and large capacity ammunition magazine ban, 2016. Why do I find this bill so funny? Because once upon a time, you may recall Chris Rock saying, you know what? If you really wanted to stop shootings, you could charge $750 for a bullet. You think twice before shooting somebody. And this is kind of what that is. Every single time you go to buy ammunition, certain types of rounds, you would be required to do a background check. A part of me is in favor of this because some of us have escalating psychological conditions or mental conditions, and over time we can get progressively worse. If I went in 2012 and bought a bunch of ammunition, I could just continue doing that without any more background checks. That might not be the right thing. 2016, I've endured more trauma, or I haven't gotten the right treatment. I can be a lot more dangerous than I was then. My issue with it is that if you know anything about the history of gun control, you would know that these measures were often implemented to limit poor people's ability to own weapons. This is also a large capacity ammunition magazine ban proposition as well. Here we are, they're saying we have to do these background checks, inhibit people from having guns and getting guns away from people who are not supposed to have guns. Right now, you want to buy a gun, you show your 4-year permit to the person at the gun shop or whatever, cool. But now they're saying that they would have to check in. It's not even that they're checking your medical records, they're checking in with the judicial system. And to me, that shit just seems backward. We're just constantly empowering this judicial system. I do believe there needs to be some regulation and some form of gun control. Unfortunately, America's history has made it very difficult for me to look at this from an objective standpoint and be in favor of it. We know for a fact that there is consistent racial disparity in the judicial system, so there are a lot of people who have been passed through or filtered through the judicial system who would now be impacted by this law. And those people are usually the people who were never able to afford themselves fair representation in the judicial system. So what, I'm supposed to just go now and vote and say, yeah, let's keep the guns out of criminals' hands? A lot of what California qualifies as a criminal is not a criminal. Do I want to reduce gun violence in California or in the country? Hell yes, I really do. Do I think that this bill proposes the right solution? No. A couple of things are going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, if it ain't happening already. I spend a lot of time in Puerto Rico, as you know, and you know what? There's a major black market in Puerto Rico when it comes to guns. And this will just increase that black market. So what'll end up happening is that criminals will have the guns, and criminals will have the ammunition, and criminals will have the large capacity ammunition magazines. But on the flip side of this argument, we do need gun control. We do need to keep the mentally unstable, and that's what concerns me. That's my argument, really, is that I want the background check to reflect in the person's mental capacity. And yes, if you're convicted of a violent felon, if you are convicted of committing a crime while using a weapon, that's different. Yes, your background check says violent criminal, boom, 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 yo, prevent this person from being able to buy this ammunition. Your background check says, yes, this person is mentally unstable and has demonstrated acts of aggression previously, or a doctor to suggest that this person isn't, psychologically fit to own a firearm. Then yeah, I get that. But you're gonna tell me that the only real background check that has to be done is you gotta call into the corrupt judicial system. Just for the record, New York had a very similar measure in place that they ended up having to abandon because they found it almost impossible to implement effectively. A bill like this could cost the state a whole lot of money annually. I feel as though the infrastructure for this bill isn't there. It's a lot of extra work for the judicial system, which seems to be already overextended. Right now, I'm undecided on this bill. Fact checkers, please feel free to include your own opinion. My personal opinion is this seems something that is directly targeted at the poor. By poor, I mean the people who are unable to have fair representation within the judicial system. I would even go as far as saying that it will heavily impact minorities. I also believe that it's going to add another load of work onto the police force. Bottom line, I don't think that it's a well put together bill, and I think that it needs to be revised. Right now, I'm undecided. I'm open to any opinion, any insight that you have. Yes, I do want to curtail the mass shootings. I just don't know if this bill is the way, or if it's even a step in the right direction. Because realistically, these mass shootings aren't even being carried out by the people who are being filtered through county jail and through the prisons. These mass shootings are actually being carried out by what America deems as promising and unsuspecting good American citizens. That's who's really carrying out these mass shootings. That's what our media labels them as. It doesn't even serve the purpose that it's meant to serve. We're talking about the San Bernardino shooting that killed 14 people. That's what we're trying to thwart. We're trying to prevent that. Okay, and last I checked, what niggas and Mexicans doing that?